Yo, what's up, chefs? I'm just going to get things started with the most important settings first. So you're going to head over to the interface section. Scrolling down, you're going to get down to the map. Make sure show corner map is on, auto center map, landscape transparency. You're going to want to crank that all the way down. Map transparency, I like to crank that all the way up. This is just going to make it so like the mountains and stuff go away. This is going to make sure the lines are really solid and easy to see. All this, follow what I've got here. Visual sensitivity. If you're a experienced gamer, you probably want to turn this off. Camera rotation effects off. But if you want a more immersive experience, you can keep those on for certain sections of the game. Always show sockets. You definitely want that on. Full descriptions on. Hide remove only tabs. It's not really going to be important until maybe additional leagues come out. Show life mana levels definitely on. Show flask buffs or icons. Actually, you can mess around with this one. It's not absolutely necessary. I kind of like to have it on to start off with though. Mini life bar above you, definitely want that on. Mini life bar above NPCs. You could either do enemies only or allies and enemies. I like to go with allies and enemies, but you can mess around with that. You definitely want one of these two though. Always highlight 100%, make sure that's checked. That's going to put like the little icons or names above things in the world, so like your stash, vendors, stuff like that. Default mouse cursor, I recommend switching to a higher contrast color like pink or green. I usually like to go with pink, and then I up my cursor size to large because the screen can get kind of cluttered. And that's pretty much going to be everything in the interface. You don't really need to mess around with your chat too much unless you really just don't like its positioning. Moving over to game, item filters aren't available yet. Once they are, you're going to make sure you get an item filter. I'm not trolling. Get an item filter. Hide filtered ground items, check. Key pickup, don't need to worry about that. Auto equip, I'd recommend turning that on when starting off. Only reason you really want to turn it off is if you're playing a build that requires you to not use weapons. Think vile concoction or whatever it was, poisonous concoction, and POE 1 where you can't have a weapon or a weapon equipped. You'd want to take auto equip off. Keep tutorials on, especially if you're new. Gem cutting restrictions. This is a new setting, so it's hard to say for sure because we can't get into the game yet. But for now, I'd recommend leaving it on. Graphics. Not too much to write home here about. Obviously, I'd recommend windowed full screen because you're probably going to be switching between tabs very often in a game like PoE. Wouldn't really recommend full screen for that reason. DirectX 12 seems to be the go-to for PoE 2. Dynamic resolution, it's up to you, especially if you've got a PC that you think might struggle in any way, or if you're like streaming or making content or whatever, you might want to keep that on just in case. I'm probably going to turn it off because I got a pretty snazzy graphics card. Window resolution, just make sure this matches your monitor. No upscale. Unless you're really struggling with performance, I would recommend not messing with this because it's going to make your game look a lot worse. Sharpness, I've messed around with anywhere between 15 and 40%. This kind of improves the quality of your graphics, but in a bit of a weird way, so I'd recommend just sliding this around while you're looking at the game, and you can see, you can even see right here, like the houses, a little bit blurry, and then you can really see like sharpness and kind of reflections almost even on the houses as I go up. So I'm probably going to set it to 40 and leave it there for now. HDR, honestly don't know what that is. Good luck. Other than that, the rest of your graphics settings I would say is really just up to you. I would recommend turning your bloom down a fair bit. It's once again going to depend on your PC and how much you like flashy stuff on the screen, but especially as you get into the end game, a lower bloom might be the way to go. Start off, I'm going to actually leave mine at around 80, and then I'll play with it from there. And target frame rate, I'm going to set mine to 120 because I have a 144 hertz monitor. If you have a 60 hertz monitor, probably leave it at 60. If you have 144, crank it up to 120 and you'll probably be good to go. The rest of the graphics settings, like I said, are really up to you depending on your, rig, your setup, how many frames you're looking to try and get versus the quality of the graphics you're trying to get. And last but not least, take it easy, chefs.
As you fade away